I do not know what to say, but I'll give you an experiment which is happening in Pune on governance. There is an MIT group of institutions, around 35-40,000 students are there, undergoing mass communication to MBA, to PGDM, to BBA, to BCom, to so many things. They started, I think, 11 years ago with the T.N. Session, sir, an institute of governance. School of Governance. And as you said, pomp and show, jargonization, great movement of Arambashvirata, L.K. Advani kind of people, all the central government ministers and everybody visited. Session sir was presiding. We all got thrilled that something is going to happen and some good governance will happen. Today, unfortunately, 19 students, 11-month program, and it is sad to say that nobody is interested in taking that program from the youth of this country, which we claim 800 million one side. And we are trying to revive that. This is a political grassroots leadership from Panchayat Raj to election, etc. Our Mr. Rajnarayan of Hyderabad is also on the academic board. All that. This is an experiment which needs to be factored into. The second part is that leadership and governance. I have seen 150,000 students in the last 35 years' time, youngsters. I have come to the, and I worked intimately with at least 8,000 of them after having selected. Last 3 years I am seeing the students, the youngsters have passion, energy, and they can comment on Facebook. It's on, the brain has come to the fingertips without using this. They will pass a comment on anything and everything. You call them to act and given a choice. I am not blaming them. It's a great pain. Prime Minister and each one of us go and say that we have 800 million people and maybe 600 million students and 3.3 crore students undergoing education, formal education. But what are we doing with them? So nobody is interested in being, I would in a different way. I have, by experience I understood, the moment you start teaching, the learning stops forever. So if we are going to teach, there is going to be no takers except for a qualification. And qualification is not equal to quality or learning. Behavior will not alter because you know things at the information level. Our entire education system in this country is information centered. And information is available today in Google and all over the place. Why should I sit in the class? And compulsory attendance system. And if you, I will give another example. If you keep milk here with the badam and all the dry fruit ingrained in that, and let there be a film show and a fashion show and a liquor shop, and tell them you choose, 95% will choose those. So my experience is 15 years ago it was 15% who are learners. They will be with you, they will be around you, they have no time, they are focused, goal driven, passionate, want to contribute, want to upgrade themselves. But today I am saying 3%. So if we are going to give information overload and also trying to teach, I think the population is not ready. So to learn, because education has to bring out behavioral modification. What is happening in parliament is a behavior. What happened in Bihar election is a behavior. I think if this behavior modification will come only when internal governance happens at the mind level. And if we do not focus on the mind level, This is a governance model. I have to govern myself first, what's right and wrong, and what needs to be done. I have to take responsibility. For that, proactive thinking is required. The Chennai flood, people came together for survival as a reaction, not because of a proactive leadership role. So my feeling is, we should try to make people learn. So 2 points. When it comes to graduation or higher education, the educational role model should be detoxification and making them to realize what is good and what is right. And the ability to do it, not just say it in the seminar and in these meetings and so on. When it comes to school education, if you want to really build leadership, you have to go to the school education and prevent the toxification of the young minds. They are born leaders. They know, they explore, they are curious, they are vibrant, they are willing to do anything. Nobody teaches a student the mother tongue. They learn. But when it comes to higher and higher education, the latter part is lost, and then is information centrism. So that kind of an education will it's a long road, and if you want to create leadership, I think it will take minimum 25 years. If you want to see. One random thought. The second random thought was that two young leaders, one of the Congress party and another is Aam Aadmi party, they went through even the mind purification vipassana. After that happened the Bihar election. And what is happening now in Parliament and in Delhi. What kind of language they, that means their true color has come out in spite of the mind purifying vipassana education which was gifted by Lord Buddha. I was wondering, why did they go there? What happened? There is lack of statesmanship in our leadership. So how do we build this? I think education has to really answer this. So I am using education, not information-centric, teaching-oriented qualification. I'll give another more thought. Concerned with this, one day I said, how you impact the minds of people so that they realize. Let me give 2 examples. I was called in Calcutta to address a gathering of Anglo-Indian principals. I was very nervous. I said, what will I go and say? The principals of Anglo-Indian schools. I went up to I didn't plan anything. Even today also I didn't plan. I went there and I was sitting there, ITC, vice presidents and all those people sitting. I said, what will I speak to these people? Suddenly a thought came in my mind. I just stood up and when I was called, I said A for, and I stopped. Everybody said apple. I said, why not Amma? Why not Allahabad? Why not Agra? And there was a silence. I said, this is a problem with our education. Somebody somewhere said A for apple, and throughout the world we are A for apple, nothing else. So thinking is stopped there. Memorizing starts there. Then I asked the next question. Sun rises. They said, what stupid question? In the east. I said, if sun rises in the east, east came first or sun came first? Then I asked them, if a child says sun doesn't rise, only we rise, how many marks you will give it him? The child will fail, because you have been taught sun rises in the east, and you never thought sun doesn't rise. And the child writes somewhere thought, no madam, sun doesn't rise, only the earth revolves around and we rise, and sun is static there. Will you pass him? No, you cannot pass, because syllabus doesn't say that. So I said, this kind of education has ruined our mind. Then I said, our genes, which is the genetic code in our blood, whether you are Muslim, Hindu or Indian or anybody, it is of munis and philosophers and sages and seers and scientists. Where we have lost that? I said, therefore, this education of memorizing should stop. Coming back, what is education? Even here, the children are to be driven to feel, to see, to feel, to touch, to explore, to experiment. They should get stirred up, shaken, shocked. Then they will realize. And that realization is his knowledge. The rest is information. Information will not lead to behavior. My self-knowledge only will lead to behavior. What's wrong and right? Everybody knows smoking is bad, but people smoke. Everybody knows this. So this preaching, teaching, centeredness has to go. And I'll give you another example and stop there, maybe interaction. Concerned with this for the last 35 years, I said this generation is not, they're good, but their energy is being misdirected and they're going in a blind path. So I think they have taken westernization as modernization. That's another danger. We have to modernize, as sir said, the ITs, the Saraswati of, all we have to utilize it. But I think they are blindly following what is not required and what is required is not. I'll give an example. Pained by this, I used to cry sometime. I said, how do I teach them? How do I give them? So one day in a school, somebody called me. I give 2 examples and finish. Somebody called me as a chief guest. I said, what chief guest? There is something called chief. So I went there because children are there up to 6th standard, 7th standard. And when I was leaving, I told my wife, you have any fruit available? He said, I have a orange. I said, give it to me. So she also came with me. I carried this orange in the vehicle. She said, why don't you eat this? I said, I will eat there. When I went there, I put the orange on it was in my pocket, small orange. I put it on the table. And I was to address the teachers, parents and students and the trustees. I picked up this orange and I showed them, what is this? The children said, orange. I said, how do you know that it's not made of plastic? There was silence. I said, it's made of plastic. It appears. What you said, sir said, imagine, what you call, he said, imitation or whatever it is. Imageability. I said, how do you know this is plastic or it's an artificial one or it's a real orange? One girl stood up and said, give it to me, I will tell you. I am giving the educational process. Then I asked the next question. Okay, fine. How do I teach orange is sweet? I asked the teachers, how do I teach this orange and this is sweet? 2 minutes I stood there. Not one teacher had an idea. One little girl got up and said, give it to me, let me eat. And once that orange goes into the mouth and it is permanently embedded in the system of the child, the brain to the Atma, to the soul, now she knows orange means what. So education, if you want to really change bring in leadership, we have to change their entire system. So how do you do that? Let me give the last example. Random thoughts. I was concerned. We do from yoga to pranayama to meditation to vipassana to rural village visit to orphanages to old age homes to all this to open their inner eye. And there lies the leadership. Unless we open the inner eye, which is gifted by nature, your seeing will be blinded by images, not reality. So finally, before passing out on 18th of March 2015, crying inside, I told my students, come with me. Where are you going? I said, come. I took them to the cremation ground. I said, put on your mobile. Talk. Talk. And in Pune, cremation ground, at the point of time, there will be at least 10 to 15 bodies. I said, come. You are all the time making noise. And your outer noise is nothing but inner noise, coming out as an expression, manifestation. I said, you now should talk, because in the class you talk. Class you don't attend. Now I want you to talk. And nobody talked. I said, talk. And when we entered there, first dead body in a shed, fully in flames, but body is there, the fire is catching the wood is catching the fire. I just showed them, see this. Nobody was there. The second shed, one lone lady sitting and sobbing. I said, see, I am not speaking. Then we came down and there was one body on the bare ground, just on the bare ground, and it was a military brigadier or a general, I don't know. There was some uniformed people standing there. Another body was on the steps to the platform, it's an old lady. Another on the platform before the cremation ground, another person. And one was already in the cremation, that electrical thing. One girl with he was holding my hand. She said, I am afraid of ghost. I said, okay, I will remove the ghost, come with me. I am the biggest ghost. You should be afraid of me, not any unreal ghost, which is created in imagination. And she was holding, I thought she will faint. I said, okay, I had to make her to touch the body. So I went and touched and did pranam, one of the bodies. He came out and she was holding. I said, touch. Came back. I said, sit down. And I ordered samosa and tea. Nobody wanted to take. I said, no, you must eat. Because you are all the time running for samosa and tea. Now eat. No, we will not eat. I said, what is happening? Sir, feeling very heavy and somebody developed headache. I said, fine. Close your eyes. Then I took them through a process whereby I asked them to see the sun, flower, this, that, small children were smiling, etc., etc., etc. 1 hour and I said, open your eyes. By the time I said, put on all the lights and put candles around and lit up the room. I said, how do you feel? Sir, great. Okay. Now, tell me, what did you learn? No answer. I said, this is the ultimate reality. Now, the first point, there was nobody was there. What does it mean to you? You will go alone. Second, there was only one lady. Third, this. And then as a general who must have been decorated with the Paramvira Chakra. What happened? To sum it up, I put them through a learning process and I said, my dear children, one day we will go there. But anybody carried anything? No. And even general was bundled up in a small piece of cloth and with the ropes. Anyway, to sum it up, I said, decide now. Decide how much money you want, where you want, what is your ego, what position you want, what recognition you want, what awards you want, what you should be known for. Tell me. Then I asked the last question, how many years do you think you will live? 65 years. I said, I am already 65. I want to live to 100 because I have so much work to do. Now this is the vision I am talking. People are getting bored of life because they have no reason, there is no goal, there is no passion, there is no soul to live. They are bored with all the kinds of material things. And then I said, you want to die at 65 years? Okay, taken. What is your average age? 23. So 42 years you are going to live. How are you going to live? How are you going to live? What do you want to achieve? And finally I said, my dear children, time management. This time, this country wastes time in noise, quarrels, conflicts and debates and seminars and all kinds of things. But do we? Hardly 3%, 2%. I think leadership of